What is happening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much, and as always, for being here. I almost said as always. Just roll the intro. All right, so we are back to listening to some more music from Chico Baraka. I'm so sorry. I looked in the comments because I thought that someone had actually put the pronunciation down in there for me. And I looked through and I could not find it, so I looked online and I couldn't find it, so I apologize. We're going to listen to Chico, though. We're going to listen to the song A Pesar de Voce, is how I believe that you pronounce that. This is off of his self-titled album, released in 1978. So, of course, last time we listened to Construção, that is just a brilliant track, I think, from start to finish, lyrically, musically, the story of it. So I definitely wanted to listen to some more, and a lot of you seem to enjoy it, and I seem to enjoy it, so just makes sense. So let's go ahead and listen to this particular song. Of course, we'll talk about it a little bit after. Here we go, guys. There we go.
Hoje você é quem manda, falou, tá falado, não tem discussão, não. A minha gente hoje anda falando de lado e olhando pro chão. Viu você que inventou esse estado, inventou de inventar toda a escuridão. Você que inventou o pecado, esqueceu-se de inventar o perdão.
That bass is so deep.
Apesar de você, amanhã há de ser outro dia. Eu pergunto a você, onde vai se esconder da enorme euforia? Como vai proibir quando o galo insistir em cantar? Água nova brotando e a gente se amando sem parar. Quando chegar o momento, esse meu sofrimento vou cobrar com juros.
What a brilliant change.
Todo esse amor reprimido, esse grito contido, este samba no escuro. Você que inventou a tristeza, ora tem a fineza de desinventar. Você vai pagar e é dobrado cada lágrima rolada nesse meu penar. Apesar de você, amanhã há de ser outro dia. Ainda pago pra ver o jardim florescer, qual você não queria. Você vai se amargar vendo o dia raiar sem lhe pedir licença. E eu vou morrer de rir que esse dia há de vir antes do que você pensa. Apesar de você, amanhã há de
Such a fun little break.
outro dia. Você vai ter que ver amanhã renascer e esbanjar poesia. Como vai se explicar vendo o céu clarear de repente, impunemente? Como vai abafar nosso coro a cantar na sua frente? Apesar de você, amanhã há de ser outro dia. Você vai
I love
se
that little
tornar
percussion
feiticeira
adorning the sides.
e tal. Laraiá, 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 laraiá. Apesar de você, apesar de você.
It's so incredibly catchy and, of course, wonderfully beautiful. Chico's voice carries the notes really, really swell. And what I like is that this song, in comparison to the previous one we listened to, is a little bit more straightforward. And yet the lyrics, which I have pulled up here and translated for myself to follow, are just as strong, are just as powerful. I'm assuming that probably most of his music, of course, I'm just basing it off of two songs. I'm assuming a decent amount of his music is politically motivated in talking about different aspects of the Brazilian government at that time. I don't know the historical facts, so I can't speak to that. But I can say that he sings it with power. He sings it with conviction. I love the adornment of percussion that is constantly dwelling on the sides and dancing on the sidewalk of the music. It's almost like a small parade, a small march for whatever cause it may be. And everyone just has a certain instruments. You know, I don't know what they're called, but you know, the and the shakers and like everything. And it's just this celebration, but at the same time, it's a cause for motivation. And I find that comes across really well in the music. The bass has this nice deep throb to it. Like I said, the percussion and those elements are very, very nice in there. And then there's that little break about halfway through where the music kind of pulls back, opens up, and we have this big, big tidings of strings that come in for just a few brief moments, and then they pull back once again, which kind of enacts a certain change in mood while still delivering the goods. And I think that is really nice, but it doesn't end that way. It goes back to its roots with how it began. I think that this was really nice. Let's get into these lyrics, though. Tomorrow will be another day. Tomorrow will be another day. Today you're the boss. It said. There's no discussion. No. My people today are talking sidewalk or sideways and looking at the ground, you see. So evidently, you know, there's an oppression, probably a governmental oppression or of some sort. And he says, my people are talking sideways and looking at the ground. They're oppressed. And instead of looking down, they need, of course, something to look up to. You who invented this state invented to invent all darkness. You who invented sin forgot to invent forgiveness. Like you created the bad, but you forgot to create a way out of it or some sort of good or something for the people to put faith and hope into. Even though tomorrow will be another day, I ask you, where will you hide from the enormous euphoria? How will you prohibit it? When the rooster insists on singing, new water springing up, and we loving each other without stopping, how can you stop our passions? How can you stop us from crying out in the streets, on the sidewalks, in our homes, on the stage, wherever we are? How can you stop us? When the time comes, this suffering of mine, I'll charge with interest. I swear he's going to pay it right back to them. All this repressed love, this contained scream, this samba in the dark. That's a great way of putting it. Samba in the dark. It's this dance. It's this celebration, this festivities, this happy moment, but it's in the dark, hidden. Well, why does it have to be hidden? Why not bring it to the light? The lyrics repeat from there. Despite you, tomorrow will be another day. I'll still pay to see the garden bloom that you didn't want. You'll be bitter, watching the day break without asking permission, and I'll die laughing. That this day will come sooner than you think, despite you. And that is what apesar de você means from what I saw the translation, despite you. So despite you, this oppressive force, we will rise. And this is a good one. Watching the day break without asking permission. Like they want permission for everything. There's a rule for everything and it's rigid, it's strict. But he's going to laugh that when the day breaks without asking you permission, because that's just the natural order of things. Even though tomorrow will be another day, you will have to see the morning reborn and waste poetry. How will you explain yourself when you see the sky suddenly lighten with impunity? How will you silence our choirs singing in front of you? Despite you, tomorrow will be another day. You're going to be in trouble, etc. and such. Despite you, you can do what you want to do, but despite you and all your efforts, we're going to be around. Looking at the article for this particular song, was released as a single, of course. Says the song, because it implicitly deals with the lack of freedoms during the military dictatorship, it was banned from being played on Brazilian radio stations by the government. However, it would be released 8 years later during the end of the government of General Ernesto Geisel. And this article is also translated because originally it was I believe in Spanish or Portuguese. I believe it may have been. So this is translated as well. And of course, there's a lot of interesting articles about this, and the censorship of it, which we kind of glossed over a little bit. Consequences. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Henry Jessen, who was also a lawyer, was summoned to explain Clara Nunez's intentions in re-recording the song. Jessen had a good relationship with the military, which allowed him to reach an agreement with the government to put an end to the misunderstanding and prove that Clara had no political intentions in re-recording this particular track. Interesting. So even the covering of this track had led to some issues. That is really interesting, but that shows the power of art in general, art and creativity, and in this particular case, music. I think that's fantastic. Let me know what you guys thought of the track, of course, in the comments down below. You can follow what I do over on Twitter. I mean, you can just really do it here. This is really the best place. You can support the channel, what I do on Patreon. You don't have to, but for as little as $2 a month, you can. Otherwise, please enjoy the rest of your day. Come back tomorrow, and I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.